Hello बच्चों, how are you? Welcome back to the next class. Okay बच्चों, let's give me a moment. Let me check if I'm live, and then we can start with the session. A very interesting session rather. We're going to discuss Archimedes Principle and Upthrust, right? This is what we're going to do in this class, and I guess yes, I'm live. And we'll be doing few numerical questions as well ताकि आपको better समझ में आ जाए. I am sure this is a slightly off the topic, a difficult one, so we'll ensure कि आपको कोई भी problem ना रहे, right? तो चलो फटाफट से start करते हैं session. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. चलो, like always, before we begin the session, let me introduce myself. Kindly pardon me, I'm having a very bad throat, so please pardon me for that. My name is Kalyan K Awasthi. I'm a physics educator at Unacademy. Hi Sehaj, how are you? And I have done my bachelor's, my BTech in electronics and communication engineering, and I have done my master's in digital communication. I am teaching physics since 2008-9, and I'm a plus verified educator at Unacademy. Right, so these are my credentials for the ones who are watching this session for the very first time, right? And these are the two Telegram channels that I would love all of you to be a part of. The very first is the Unacademy ICSE and ISC board, the general channel that we have. अभी यहाँ पर in this particular channel, आपको सभी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगा रिगार्डिंग दी ICSE एंड ISC बोर्ड, जो हमारा कैटेगरी है, जो हमारा गोल है, विच इंक्लूड्स क्लास 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's a general group जहाँ पर you are updated with everything. And then we have this one more Telegram group. This is my Physics Unacademy channel. It's an official Unacademy channel where you'll be getting the details of my sessions. मेरे सेशन के नोट्स मिलेंगे, मेरे सेशन की टाइमिंग्स मिलेंगी, and every morning I give 2 questions to all my learners. So you'll be getting access to those 2 questions through this channel only, right? So फटाफट से I would request all of you who are watching this session, either live or the recorded session, to quickly फटाफट से just connect with me through this channel, right? And अभी आप जो सेशन देख रहे हो, that is a YT session, a YouTube session. Apart from these YT sessions at Unacademy, we have got special classes as well. So it becomes very important for me to make you understand the importance of a special class, right? First of all, special classes are free classes, right? You don't have to pay anything for that, and you get to learn from your educator. ठीक है ना? आप free में you get a chance to learn from your favorite educator. You can select your educator. There are n number of options, and you can watch their classes free. Now, why have we named them special classes? There is a logic behind that. They are special because they give you good engagement, and this engagement is through polls. Polls are nothing but the previous year questions that we do in these sessions. ठीक है ना? इन क्लासेस में हम पुराने जो आपके इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं, लास्ट ईयर्स पूछे जा चुके हैं, सभी स्कूल्स में पूछे जा सकते हैं, प्री बोर्ड्स में पूछे गए हैं, आपके मिड टर्म एग्जाम्स में पूछते हैं, आपके फाइनल एग्जाम्स में पूछते हैं. सो वी कवर दोज क्वेश्चंस थ्रू MCQs, मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस एंड पोल्स, राइट? And second and the most important thing which makes these classes special is there is a doubt clearing tab. अभी अगर आप ये YT class देख रहे हो and you have any doubt, you can only drop in the chat box, right? आप chat box में drop कर सकते हो live class में. There is a lag, okay? Obviously there is a lag, and there may be n other reasons why an educator might miss your doubt, right? But this does not happen in these special classes. Why? Because the classes are live, they are in real time, and you don't have any lag, right? And the links of the few top classes are there in the chat box. These are few other classes that we have. I mean, they're already conducted. I won't be having special classes in 1 or 2 days, so I've taken the links of the previous classes, right? Hi everyone. Welcome to the class. Very good evening to all of you watching the session, and a very humble request, if you're watching it, you're finding it good, do like it, right? So apart from these special classes, Now these are the salient features of the Unacademy Plus classes, and these are the best classes. Why best? Because first of all, you get to learn from your home free. Any number of time the video or the content can be accessed. ऐसा नहीं, if you're taking a subscription and if you're watching a video, there is a count जिसके आगे आप वीडियो नहीं देख सकते. आप जितनी बार चाहो उतनी बार वीडियो देख सकते हो, राइट? Obviously, the educators who are teaching you at Unacademy, they are top educators, so you don't have to worry about it. As an educator, as a teacher, this is what I think is the best, right? Every fourth session is a doubt clearing session. Okay, every fourth session is a doubt clearing session. I mean, you get to learn for the 3 classes, and immediately on the 4th class you can get all your doubts clear, which is a very, very good thing that we have at Unacademy. These are few other salient features that we have which make these classes better than all the other classes, right? This is the monthly details. A very, very important announcement that there is a price hike. The increased prices will be applicable midnight, so before the prices are hiked, make sure you use the code Kalyan Live to effectively get 30% discount. Let me just share the creative so that you get a basic idea of how things are going to go. This is what is happening after midnight. Okay, 11:59 PM today. केवल तभी तक ये rates applicable हैं, right? You can clearly see. If you're a class 9 student, I would rather advise you to go for a 24-month subscription, right? Why? Because it will help you save 8,750 rupees, right? And the offer price here is 20,000. I mean, just by paying 20,000, you'll be getting the Unacademy subscription for 24 months. That is something very, very good, right? Very, very good. So you can just make use of it, right? And the discount here is 20%, but if you compare it with the price hike, it automatically shoots up to 30%. All you have to do is, just let me help you with the code once again. This is my YT code. It's Kalyan Live. ठीक है, आप ये कोड यूज कर सकते हो and you can avail this discount till midnight today. Okay, so now let's start with our session without wasting any time. See, in today's class we have to study Archimedes Principle and Upthrust. But being a learner and for you, being a learner for you and being an educator for me, it is very important to bridge the gap. You might have already covered fluid pressure in the previous YT class. हमने fluid pressure पढ़ा था, right? So how is this fluid pressure connected to upthrust? For that we have to revisit 1 or 2 topics, and the very first is the factors which affect the pressure, right? First of all, let us assume that a body is inside a liquid, rather fluid. ठीक है ना? This is my body. Now the pressure acting at this particular point, let this point be A. Okay, it depends on certain parameters, right? Let me first tell you the formula. Pressure is equal to H rho G. This is the formula. We have derived this formula in the previous YT session. So if you have not watched it, you can just go back to the previous class जहाँ पर मैंने ये formula derive किया है. आप वहाँ से derivation देख सकते हो, and I'm sure उसके बाद आपको कोई problem नहीं होगा, right? Now going by this formula, you can clearly see that the pressure is depending on 3 parameters. It depends on the height, it depends on the density, and it depends on the acceleration due to gravity. If any of these 3 parameters are changing, I'll say कि सर मेरा pressure बदल गया, right? Pressure मेरा इन तीनों में से किसी भी पैरामीटर के चेंज होने पर चेंज हो जाएगा. You have to be very, very, very particular about this, right? And why am I talking about the dependence on the pressure? Because ultimately we have to do Archimedes principle. अभी 2 ऐसे पैरामीटर भी हैं. I mean, there are certain other parameters which appears as if they will affect the pressure, but they do not affect the pressure at all. The very first of them is the shape size, right? The shape and size never affects the pressure inside a liquid. ठीक है ना? कभी भी आपके प्रेशर को इफेक्ट नहीं करेगा. So you don't have to worry about it. Second, the area of the surface on which the pressure is acting. ठीक है ना? अभी this might be confusing. Abhi, normally pressure is equal to thrust upon area. हम ये पढ़ के आए हैं. तो the very first thing that strikes your mind is कि सर एरिया से, सरफेस के एरिया से the pressure will be affected. No, inside the liquid, no, inside the liquid it will not affect. Okay, it will not affect at all, right? This logic is clear, I guess. Now, based on the observations and certain rules, we have framed certain laws of liquid pressure, right? And these laws are applicable in all the liquids, right? And whenever a body is immersed in the liquid, we start or we try to apply these laws. The very first law says that जैसे जैसे हम बॉडी को लिक्विड के अंदर ले जाएंगे, as the pressure increases, as the depth increases, the pressure also increases, right? A very practical example for this is, अगर आपने डैम्स की वॉल देखी होंगी तो आपने देखा होगा नीचे की वॉल चौड़ी होती है, इट्स ब्रॉडर देन दी अपर वॉल. व्हाई? बिकॉज as we move down, pressure of the liquid increases. In order to withstand that pressure, उस pressure को झेलने के लिए you should have a broader wall, एक थोड़ी चौड़ी मजबूत दीवार चाहिए, right? So this is the very first law. Second law, if you are drawing a plane within a liquid and you are let me illustrate it with this way. I mean, मान लो ये एक liquid है and you have taken an imaginary plane. Okay, any plane at the liquid. Now, if you will be moving at any point on this plane, if you are moving on the horizontal plane, you intend to move on the horizontal plane and you are moving at any damn point of the plane, the pressure will be same. It is not going to change. Okay, it is not going to change at all. You have to be very, very, very particular with this point, because we'll be solving a lot of questions in the plus classes, in the special classes as well. Abhi YT pe to it's not, see, YT pe it cannot be very interactive. So for the question sessions, I would request you to join the special classes, right? आप एक बार special class में आओ, just see how it works, and if you find it okay, you can go for the plus subscription rather. Okay, but you have to make it fast because the offer will end midnight today. Okay, chalo. The first two laws are done. The third one, about a point inside the liquid, the pressure is same in all the directions. A very, very, very logical law. Let me just help you with this diagram. Let us assume that I have taken this point, right? Abhi is point pe, if I am moving, if I am taking the pressure at any particular direction, it will be same. Later on, we'll be studying a law as well in the later part of the chapter. Fine, right? So this point is also clear. Fourth, pressure at same depth is different in different liquids. Now this can be understood. You can take two same type of containers, fill one container with water, right, and you can fill the other container with say oil. Okay, and you are taking a point which is at the same depth. Now this is H and this is also H. Now here you are saying P1, here you are taking the pressure P2 within the liquid. So in all sense, P1 is not going to be equal to P2. Why? Can anyone tell me in the session? Anyone who's watching the session, please like the session if you're watching it. And can anyone help me with the answer? Why will the pressure be different? I could see few of you are there in the session. Yes. See, the liquids have different densities, right? These liquids are having different densities, and we've already seen P is equal to H rho G. Rho is density, this rho is density. So if you have changed the liquid, see, height is same. You are saying that you are going for the same height. You are saying that acceleration due to gravity is same, but the density of the liquids is different, and because the density is different, the pressure will be different. Yes. Right. And the third one you have been studying since ages, liquid find its own level. That means if you're taking a liquid in different containers, it will have different level, right? So that's very observational rule, so it has nothing to do with any mathematical analysis, right? Now let's talk about the upthrust, right? See, we'll be talking about the upthrust. First we'll be going with the basic definition, and then we'll be trying to find out the reason why this happens. Okay, so what is upthrust? Just read the slide. Very basic. I've written it in a very simple language. Whenever you are immersing a body, okay, in a liquid, you might be immersing it partially or you might be immersing it completely. It always experiences a force, right? You can try it in your house as well. आप एक water bottle लो, an empty water bottle, and try to just push it in the bucket. आप देखोगे जैसे आप उसको पुश करोगे. Why am I saying empty? I will tell you the reason कि मैं आपसे भरी बोतल लेने के लिए क्यों नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ठीक है ना? अभी इसी सेशन में I'll be explaining you the reason. Just take a water bottle, पूरा पानी निकालो, just close the knob, right, and just try to push it down. What you will notice is you will find that there will be an upward force, okay, right? That is upthrust. Okay, that is upthrust. Getting my point? That is upthrust. Can anyone tell me why this upthrust is, being experienced by the this body which is being immersed? So, okay, we'll be discussing it in a while. See, don't get confused with upthrust and buoyancy. Buoyancy will be defining from the point of view of the fluid. ठीक है ना? जब मैं लिक्विड के सेंस में बोलूँगा, देखो अगर मेरे बॉडी पर अपवर्ड फोर्स लग रहा है तो यार ये फोर्स मेरा लिक्विड ही तो लगा रहा है. आई गेस बात समझ में आ रही? अगर मेरे बॉडी पर एक अपवर्ड फोर्स लग रहा है तो ये फोर्स मेरा लिक्विड ही तो लगा रहा है. यस और नो? दिस प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द लिक्विड to exert the upward force is called buoyancy, right? This property of the liquid to exert the upward force is called buoyancy. You're getting my point? And when the body is immersed, it experiences a force. That force is upthrust. Fine, right? Getting my point? ठीक. That means आप ऐसे समझो, if I'm taking a bucket and I'm taking a body of mass m and I'm immersing it, what will happen? The weight of the body will act downwards, right? The weight of the body will act downwards. Obviously every body has its weight acting downward, and the buoyant force will be acting upwards, or you can call it upthrust. And the behavior of the body, I mean whether it is sinking, floating, partially sinking, whatever it is doing, it depends on the resultant of these two forces. बात समझ में आई? It depends on the resultant of these two forces. Great. आप ऐसे मान लो W is the weight and F is the buoyant force. So every time the behavior of the body is decided by F minus W. This F minus W will decide the behavior of the body. Okay, whether it will float, whether it will sink, or how much force will be acting upwards. तो कितना force upward लग रहा है? We have to minus the weight. Bhai, we are talking about the net force. Whenever we are talking about this, we are talking about the net force. So in order to consider the net force, we have to subtract the weight. Okay? ठीक? अगर मैं चाहता हूँ, मान लीजिए अभी I take this glass and I just dip a pen in it. I mean अभी तो ये this is vacant, पानी नहीं भरा है, it's empty. तो अभी मान लो मैं इसके अंदर I just try to push the pen down, right? And say push, a pen is a heavy body, थोड़ा सा light body. I take a cork, right? I take a cork and I try to pull it down. What will happen? It will experience a upward force. Fine. I hope the logic is clear to all of you. It's very logical, right? Now the explanation that I was just talking about, I have included it in the slide. Just go through the slide, take 1 or 2 minutes and just go through it. You can clearly see that two forces will act on the body. I've just told you that the weight of the body will be acting downwards, and as a replication the upthrust will be acting upwards. Now what will happen? If I say that both the forces are equal, I mean whatever is the weight of the body, an equal and opposite thrust is acting. So what will happen? Both these forces will cancel out. दोनों फोर्स एक दूसरे को बच्चों कैंसिल कर देंगे, यस और नो? फटाफट से बताओ. और अगर ये दोनों फोर्सेस एक दूसरे को कैंसिल कर देंगे तो व्हाट विल हैपन? द बॉडी विल कंटिन्यू फ्लोटिंग, राइट? इट विल कंटिन्यू फ्लोटिंग. हाय मोहम्मद उजैर, गुड इवनिंग, हाउ आर यू? कैसे हो बेटा? आई होप आप बढ़िया हो. यस. एक क्वेश्चन भाई यही था कि आई टेक अ बॉडी एंड आई स्टार्ट इमर्सिंग द बॉडी इन द लिक्विड. मैं बॉडी को लिक्विड के अंदर डालना शुरू करता हूँ. वी वर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ the upthrust changes and what are the different conditions under which the body might float, it might sink or whatever. That is what we were discussing. Can you help us with this? Yes. आप इसको ऐसे समझ लो. Yes, Mohammad Kazir, want to say anything in this regard? Just yes, I have a vacant slide. नहीं, that is okay. I was just trying to, चलो ऐसे समझो. This is a body. Right? The weight of the body will act downwards, and this is F net. Right? Fine. Right? This is your net upthrust. Now see, if F net is greater than W, body will float. I'm sure you understand the body will float. Case 1. Case 2. If W is greater than F net, body will sink. Now there are certain characteristics. Hi everyone who has just joined. If you're watching the session, you're finding it good, do like it. We're discussing a very, very important topic for ICSE. Right? Now let's see the explanation part. In fact, before going to the explanation part, let us just try to analyze. Is the density of the body is either equal or less than a fluid in the body floats or in the body? चलो काजर, let's discuss these few important characteristics. तब आपको better समझ में आएगा. Few very important characteristics, right? Very first is, larger the volume of the body submerged in the liquid, greater is the upthrust. देखो जितना ज़्यादा body का volume liquid के अंदर रहेगा, if the buoyant force is either, ठीक है, I've got your point, काजर. Very good. Your logics are clear. That is very good. Okay. Just focus at these two characteristics. If you are having a body of a large volume and the body is submerged in the liquid, obviously it will experience a greater upthrust. Why? Because more amount or more volume of the body is subjected to the fluid. Fine. Okay. Second, like you mentioned, आपने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले you were talking about the density. So yes, it does affect. अगर आपका density ज़्यादा होगा तो thrust भी बढ़ जाएगा. Okay. And the third one is very obvious, and I guess all of us are well aware with this property. ठीक है ना? चलो, there are few important points that have to be kept in mind. बहुत ही important points हैं. Yes, agree. Yes, Mohammad Uzair, I agree. You are right. Very good. I said that was very, very good. Okay. The important point that I was, Mohammad Kazir, you missed on one point. Let me help you out with this. Abhi, let us assume that this is a container. No, 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 it's not like that. There is a lag between, I mean, I am replying, but I guess you're not getting my answers. No, no, it's not like that, beta. Why would I be tired? That's my job. So I'm replying. I guess you're not getting my answers. Or there might be a lag, Kazir. There might be a, I've said that I agree. Your answer is correct. I am saying that you have missed on one point. आपने एक point miss किया हुआ है, right? A very important concept. Whatever you have written, one point was missing, right? The point here is, see, let us assume that here, let us consider a block which is completely immersed in the liquid, right? Let us assume a block which is completely immersed in the liquid. Can you elaborate on the forces acting on it? Can you elaborate on the forces? देखो, instead of forces, let us call them pressure. Let us assume that this pressure is P1, this pressure is P2, this is Px, and let us say this is Py, right? You can take forces as well. तो देखो, Py will be greater than Px, yes or no? भाई ये वाला जो एंड है, दिस एंड इज एट अ ग्रेटर डेप्थ, राइट? दिस एंड इज एट अ ग्रेटर डेप्थ. अभी एच वाई, अगर मैं इसको एच वाई बोल दूं और इसको एच ऑफ एक्स बोल दूं, तो आई कैन क्लियरली सी दैट एच ऑफ वाई इज ग्रेटर देन एच ऑफ एक्स, राइट? दैट मीन्स पी ऑफ वाई इज ग्रेटर देन पी ऑफ एक्स. अब मेरे को बताओ, अगर पी ऑफ वाई पी ऑफ एक्स से बड़ा है तो देयर विल बी अ नेट प्रेशर, या आप बोल सकते हो देयर विल बी अ नेट फोर्स पी वाई माइनस पी एक्स. yes but don't worry, कासिर, आई विल बी हेल्पिंग यू आउट विद, मैं आपको सारे रीजंस बताऊंगा, तो आपको टेंशन लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. देखो, अपथ्रस्ट का अगर कोई कॉज पूछता है कि सर अपथ्रस्ट आया कहाँ से, वी हैव बीन डिस्कसिंग कि प्रेशर बढ़ाएंगे तो क्या होगा, डेंसिटी बढ़ाएंगे तो क्या होगा, दैट इज़ ओके, बट द बेसिक रीज़न इज़ कि आखिर थ्रस्ट आया कहाँ से. बीइंग अ साइंस स्टूडेंट, बीइंग अ फिजिक्स स्टूडेंट, हमें ये भी तो समझना है कि अपथ्रस्ट आया कहाँ से. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट आई एम हेल्पिंग यू आउट विद. ठीक है ना? मैंने आपको एक बॉडी दिखाई एंड द बॉडी इज इमर्स्ड इन द लिक्विड. अभी एक चीज़ देखो, सबसे पहली चीज़ तो आपको मालूम है कि थ्रस्ट एक्ट्स परपेंडिकुलरली. ठीक है ना? तो आप में से कोई मेरे से ये क्वेश्चन नहीं करेगा कि सर आपने इधर प्रेशर क्यों नहीं लिया. इधर नहीं लेना है अपने को, सारे नॉर्मल प्रेशर लेने हैं. ठीक, अब देखो P1 और P2 ये दोनों प्रेशर एक दूसरे को कैंसिल आउट कर देंगे, इक्वल एंड ऑपोजिट, राइट? बट क्या Px और Py भी इक्वल एंड ऑपोजिट हैं? ऑपोजिट तो हैं बट इक्वल नहीं है. क्यों इक्वल नहीं है? क्योंकि माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले पढ़ा दैट P इज इक्वल टू H रो G. नाउ प्रेशर is directly proportional to height. Now h of y is greater than h of x. That means p of y is greater than p of x. If p of y is greater than p of x, that means py minus px एक net pressure लगेगा, right? Yes or no? Yes, Kazir, I've taken your point. Yes, yes, yeah. In which in class 10th I guess you're talking about which board? काजर, किस बोर्ड की बात कर रहे हो? ICSE और ISC, I mean CBSE और ICSE? in since we are talking about the ICSE, तो मशीन्स इज अ चैप्टर विच स्टूडेंट्स फाइंड डिफिकल्ट. ओके, थोड़ा सा उन्हें डिफिकल्ट लगता है मशीन्स, राइट, स्पेशली ब्लॉक एंड टैकल इन क्लास 10th. बाकी तो आई थिंक एवरीथिंग इज ईजी. CBSE में आई गेस फोर्स वगैरह में they ask you application based numericals. So when they are asking you application based numericals, थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम होता है, right? So yes, in that sense the application part of the force, right? तो अगर बच्चों यहाँ पर नेट प्रेशर है तो इसका मतलब एक फोर्स भी तो लगेगा. देखो, व्हाट इज प्रेशर? प्रेशर इज इक्वल टू थ्रस्ट अपॉन एरिया, या हम इसको फोर्स अपॉन एरिया भी बोलते हैं. तो आप मेरे को बताओ, नेट फोर्स अपवर्ड्स कुछ लग रहा है? नेट फोर्स अपवर्ड्स कितना लग रहा है? पी वाई माइनस पी एक्स इंटू ए, इतना फोर्स नेट अपवर्ड्स लग रहा है. इसी को बच्चों हम अपथ्रस्ट बोलते हैं. दिस इज योर अपथ्रस्ट. तो आई होप आपको अब ये लॉजिक समझ में आ गया कि अपथ्रस्ट आता कहां से. दिस इज योर अपथ्रस्ट. ओके, इज इट क्लियर नाउ, दोज हु आर देयर इन द सेशन? Now a very logical thing before starting with the Archimedes principle. Let's take the basic logic which says upthrust is equal to the weight of liquid displaced. ठीक है ना? विल सी टू इट एंड देखेंगे कि कैसे, हाउ इट कैन बी अंडरस्टूड, हाउ इट कैन बी परसीव्ड रादर. ठीक है ना? आई एम श्योर यू विल लव दिस पॉइंट. चलो, तो फॉर दैट लेट अस कंसिडर अ ब्लॉक. I have taken a container, right? Okay, instead of it, let me draw it more properly. Okay, right, and let us assume that it has water in it, a fluid rather. Instead of calling it water, let's call it fluid. Right, this is how it looks like. Now, there are certain assumptions that we will be taking. Let us assume that the pressure at the top is P1, right? And the pressure at the bottom is P2. This is P2, right? And let's name it as P, Q, R, S. We have named it as PQRS, right? Now, the height of this surface PQ is H1. From the top, the height is H1 and the height of the second surface is H2. Right? We have taken the two heights. Fine. Now, I'm sure you know how to take the pressures. P1 will be H1 rho into G, right? Where rho is the density. Rho is the density. Similarly, we can have P2 as H2 into rho into G, right? This is very basic. अभी मेरे को क्या निकालना है? I have to find the force acting on the first surface. Force acting on first surface. कैसे निकालूंगा? We know that pressure is equal to force upon area. So force 1 will be pressure 1 into area. Now, since the diagram is symmetrical, I hope you understand that A1 will be equal to A2, right? And I'm calling it A. So what will be F1? F1 will be H1 rho into G into A. Yes? So I can write it as H1 into A together and rho into G. We can write it. Yes? I hope, yes, you understand this. Similarly, you can write the value of F2 as well. Similarly, the value of F2 will be H2 into A into rho into G. Yes? Like जैसे मैंने H1 निकाला है वैसे ही मैं H2 निकाल सकता हूँ. I hope you are getting my point. Now we have to find upthrust. ध्यान से समझिएगा. Upthrust always acts upward. So upthrust force will be F2 minus F1 because F2 force is acting downwards, right? तो ये मेरा क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? ये हो जाएगा H2 A rho G minus H1 A rho G. Yes? So F can be A common H2 minus H1 into rho into G. Can I write the value of F this way? Yes, I can write it. Very much. I can write it very much. It's very, very logical. Now tell me one thing, बच्चों. What is area into this? भाई, what is H2 minus H1? अगर आप ध्यान से देखो, H2 minus H1, ये एरिया ही तो मिल रहा है आपको. H2 minus H1. H2 minus H1 को जब A से मल्टीप्लाई कर दोगे तो what will you get? Let me write it again. This F is A H2 minus H1 into rho into G. Now this H2 minus H1 when multiplied with A, this will give you volume, yes or no? Right? This will give you volume. What is V? Volume of the body submerged in liquid, yes or no? Isn't it the volume of the body that is submerged in the liquid? I guess yes it is. So we have got a formula for upthrust, and this formula says V rho G, right? And we can write it as volume of body immersed. देखो मैंने V कहाँ पे पाया? ये यही तो मेरा V है. ये V वही वॉल्यूम तो है बॉडी का जो लिक्विड के अंदर इमर्स है, राइट? तो वॉल्यूम ऑफ बॉडी इमर्स्ड इनटू, यहां पर बहुत से बच्चे गलती करते हैं. वी हैव टू टेक द डेंसिटी ऑफ लिक्विड. आई एम टेलिंग यू द पॉइंट वेयर यू विल बी मेकिंग अ मिस्टेक. देखो गलती कहाँ करोगे? आपको क्वेश्चन में दो डेंसिटी दी होंगी, बॉडी की डेंसिटी भी दी होगी और लिक्विड की डेंसिटी भी दी होगी. जब आपको कंफ्यूज करना होता है देन दे गिव यू बोथ द डेंसिटीज, एंड आई हैव सीन स्टूडेंट्स गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड, बट ऑल माय लर्नर्स यू डोंट हैव टू बी कंफ्यूज्ड. हमें लिक्विड की डेंसिटी लेनी है, एंड लास्ट में it has to be acceleration due to gravity, right? It has to be acceleration due to gravity. Fine. अब यहाँ पर बहुत ही important part, बहुत ही ज़्यादा important part. We know that density is equal to mass upon volume, right? So volume into density is equal to mass है. तो वॉल्यूम और डेंसिटी को कंबाइन करके कैन आई राइट दैट अपथ्रस्ट इज इक्वल टू मास ऑफ लिक्विड डिस्प्लेस्ड इनटू एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी. अब आप मेरे को बताओ मास इंटू एक्सेलरेशन क्या बताता है? m इंटू जी. दिस गिव्स यू वेट. तो व्हाट इज अपथ्रस्ट? कैन आई कॉल अपथ्रस्ट एज द वेट ऑफ लिक्विड डिस्प्लेस्ड? यस. Upthrust is nothing but it is the weight of the liquid displaced. This is what we were talking about all these while. अभी शुरू से हम यही बात कर रहे हैं. अभी we have proved it mathematically. It's very important. I hope the logic is pretty clear to all of you. Yes. Right? Is it clear, all of you? Now let's talk about the Archimedes principle. Right? See, we cannot start with Archimedes principle if you are not aware of the concept. बिना concepts के हम Archimedes principle नहीं पढ़ सकते. Now, what does the Archimedes principle say? It says, whenever a body is partially or completely immersed in the liquid, it experiences an upthrust which is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced. क्या हमने अभी यही नहीं किया? This is what we have proved right away. It is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced. Yes. So indirectly we have already proved Archimedes principle. Yes. I hope सभी बच्चों को बात समझ में आ रही है. Great. चलो. Now, this is what I guess Mohammad Kadir you were talking about. The bodies of density greater than that of liquid sink in it. अगर बॉडी का डेंसिटी लिक्विड की डेंसिटी से ज़्यादा होगा तो बॉडी सिंक कर जाएगी. यस. क्लियर? द लॉजिक इज क्लियर. अगर डेंसिटी इक्वल या लेस हुई then only it will float, otherwise it will sink. Okay. अभी आपको एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन पूछता है, they ask you whether the body will sink or float. You just have to compare the densities. Okay. Right. चलो भाई, let's now do a question. A solid of density rho has a weight W. Okay. We'll be moving stepwise and I'm sure आपको समझ में आएगा. It's very easy. क्वेश्चन कह रहा है अ सॉलिड ऑफ डेंसिटी रो हैज अ वेट डब्ल्यू. ठीक है. सबसे पहले वी हैव टू राइट दैट द डेंसिटी ऑफ लिक्विड, सॉरी, द डेंसिटी ऑफ लेट मी सेलेक्ट अ डिफरेंट पेन. आई गेस आपको दिख नहीं रहा होगा. Black is better. Density of solid is rho. ठीक है ना? And weight of solid is W. whenever you are solving a numerical in physics, make sure first of all you write all the values that are given. Okay, now the question is talking about apparent weight. सबसे पहले मेरे को पता होना चाहिए what is apparent weight. Apparent weight का मतलब whenever you are immersing a body in a fluid, what is the weight, effective weight of the body. देखो, जब आप फ्लूइड के अंदर बॉडी को डालते हो तो बॉडी के वेट के अगेंस्ट यू हैव thrust, so the net is the resultant. So what is it? Is the actual weight, or you call it true weight, and you have to subtract the upthrust from it. This is what we have to find. Okay, तो अपने को निकालना क्या है? We need true weight and we need upthrust. Okay, बात समझ में आई? चल, and we have expression and we have to prove that expression. तो अभी आप बोलोगे कि सर ये तो बहुत आसान है, बट आसान है, it's very easy, but you have to manipulate your answer in such a way कि आपको ये prove करना है. What else we are given is density of liquid, and this is rho into L, right? Now what is Archimedes principle? This says that volume of liquid displaced should be equal to the volume of solid, right? And what will be the volume of solid? We know that density is equal to mass upon volume. This will be mass of solid divided by density of solid. What is the mass of the solid? If weight is W, mass is this and the density is this. So the volume of the solid, I guess you have understood, this will be W upon G divided by rho, right? Is it clear? Now the other thing that we have to do is we have to find the upthrust, right? अभी upthrust कैसे निकाल सकते हैं? Upthrust will be volume of liquid displaced. Kindly excuse me for this. Volume of liquid displaced into density into acceleration, right? अभी हमने just formula derive किया है V rho G, right? तो how will we find the volume of the liquid displaced? My volume of the liquid displaced will be equal to the volume of the solid. तो volume of the liquid displaced will be इतना ही volume displaced होगा. भाई Archimedes principle है. This is true, right? This is the law, universally accepted law. It will not change, right? And what is the density? What is the density of liquid? अभी आप thrust लगा रहे हैं तो I have to take the density of the liquid. The density of the liquid is, and what is the acceleration due to gravity is this. अभी let's solve it. W upon G into rho L into G. This G gets cancelled and we'll be getting W rho L upon rho. So now we have got the true weight, we have got the this apparent weight, and we can solve it. We can solve the apparent weight now. What is the true weight? It is W. What is upthrust? This is W rho L upon rho. Let me take W constant. It will be 1 minus rho L upon rho. Is this what we had to prove? Yes. This is exactly matching with what we had to prove in the beginning. I hope the logic is clear to everyone who's attending the class. Yes. So this is what we had to prove. Hence proof. Okay. Now let's talk about the next question. The question says that we have got a metal cube of side 5 centimeter. Okay, let me see. Okay, and density 7.9 grams per centimeter cube. So we have to consider, we have to make sure whatever we are given we should write first. So the side of the cube, side of cube, this is given, and this is 5 centimeter. Now cube, you know, we know the volume of the cube is side ka cube. So volume of the cube will be 5 का cube centimeter cube. This will be 125 centimeter cube. देखो, we will always need the volume, right? We will always need the volume. And once I have the volume, I can find the density is equal to mass upon volume. I can find the mass of the cube. It will be density, which is 7.9. Volume, which I have just calculated as 125, right? तो मेरे को mass of the cube मिल गया. इसको solve करोगे तो you will be getting 987.5 grams. 987.5 grams. So I guess you have got the mass, right? The very first part is saying the weight of the cube. So yes, we can find the weight. Weight of the cube, W is equal to m into G. You have the mass 987.5, it is grams, so you can convert it into kg and you can multiply it with the 9.8, right? You will be getting the answer in newtons, or you can give the answer in gram force as well. Let me write it that way. If you are answering in grams force, so your answer can be 987.5 G gram force, right? Got the point? Yes, that was logical and easy as well. See, if you have any doubt, feel free to write it in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to help you out with it, right? Don't be hesitant in writing the doubt. Chalo. So we have found the weight. Now the second part is we have to find the upthrust. So how can we find the upthrust? Upthrust will be equal to the weight of liquid displaced, right? Fine. So weight of the liquid displaced will be mass into G. Density is equal to mass upon volume. So this will be volume into density into G. So that will be V rho G. Fine. Now see what the question is saying. Just get back to the question. You are given the density of the liquid, right? And volume you have already found. It was already there of the cube. Yes. So this is 125. Density is 1.5. Now let's keep it in G, and we can give the answer in gram force. So this will be 137.5 gram force. Kindly excuse me, I'm having a very bad throat. Third, you have to find the tension in the thread, right? And how can we find the tension in the thread? Tension always acts away from the body. To find the tension, you can find the net downward force. Abhi dekho, this is upthrust. This will be acting upwards, and this will be acting downwards. So what is the net downward force? The net downward force will be 987.5 minus 137.5, right? This will be 850 gram force. Fine. I hope the logic is clear to all of you. This will be 850 gram force. Yes, all of you. चलो, I guess आपको दोनों क्वेश्चन से समझ में आ गया. Both the questions were interesting. Any doubt, anyone? Do ask. Chalo, great. That was okay. One last time, I would love to tell you that the offer, the 30% offer, it is ending midnight. So if any one of you is watching this video and he plans to take the subscription, you have one last chance because the prices are increasing. The next time around, you won't be able to get the subscription at this price. Okay, you can clearly see that if you are in class 9, I would recommend you to take a 24-month subscription, and if you're taking one, you will be saving 8,750 rupees, which is approximately 30% discount when compared to the increased prices, right? All you have to do is you have to use the code KALYANLIVE, Kalyan Live. This is my YT code, right? I'm again writing it. It's KALYANLIVE, Kalyan Live, right? So you can be a part of it. Now let me brief you about the batches that we are having right now. The very first is the Guardians batch that we are having. It is an all subject batch. The batch started on May 4th. It's an English batch. All subject means physics, chemistry, maths and bio, right? Hina ma'am is taking maths, Kalyan sir, which is me, I'm taking physics, Manisha ma'am is taking chemistry, and Vani ma'am is taking biology. Right? The timings are mentioned here. And one important thing, if you are taking a subscription for class 9, you will be getting 10th, 11th and 12th absolutely free. Okay, this is the best part. You just have to take the subscription for class 9 and you will be getting 10th, 11th, 12th free. Fine. The timings and the dates, they are mentioned herein. You have got one more batch. Again, this is an all subject batch. The batch started on May 11th. It's an English batch. English means English mixed with Hindi. Manan sir is taking maths and Shivam sir is taking physics. Ritika ma'am is taking chemistry and Bhavna ma'am is taking biology, right? This is also an all subject batch, so you don't have to worry about this. Then for class 10th, we are having two batches. A gladiators batch where Hina ma'am, me, Manisha ma'am and Vani ma'am are taking the sessions, and a titans batch where again Manan sir, Shivam sir, Ritika ma'am and Bhavna ma'am are taking sessions. So you can enroll in any of the batches. You can use my code Kalyan Live. This is my code, right? You can use my code to avail discount, which is 30% effectively till midnight. And Unacademy has introduced this community feature as well, right? A very unique feature rather. Why unique feature? Because through community you can be connected with your educator. You can be a part of whatever notes they share. You just have to follow an educator and you'll be automatically connected to the community, right? You can take the session notes. They'll be available in the community tab, and yes, you can directly share the feedback as well. So this is a very, very good thing, which I'm sure many of you would love to be a part of. If you are finding my sessions interesting, chat box में अगर आप देखोगे तो you will find the link for the community. Just connect with me through that link, right? One more interesting offer for all the learners. If you are finding any of the content inappropriate or derogatory and you're the very first one to report, you can get a chance to claim for a prize, right? The link is there in the description box. So guys, that is all from my side in the session. I guess आपको session अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा. And yes, if you're finding it good, please subscribe us on YT. click on the bell icon if you have not clicked it yet, right? Just like the video, share it with your friends, click on the bell icon. Let's crack it with Unacademy, right? Thank you, and we shall catch up very soon with the next lecture. Take care, bye bye. Take very good care of your health, sir.